I should preserve it. So I decided not to do the live on Sunday. So apologies for that. But I'm here now, and I've made a new video today, which I'm really excited about because I think it's great. It's all about sunlight and the effect it has on our bodies. And it's going to be, if I can get it finish the editing tonight, it's going to go live tomorrow afternoon. So I'll be back on schedule of my I like to put 2 videos out, Tuesdays and Fridays now. And that fits in with the coaching and all the other things that I do. Hi, Sarah. Hi, from Wisconsin. Thank you. God, it's, when you're so super healthy, as I think of myself, you don't expect to get colds. And Simon, my husband, had this cold for almost 10 days, and I didn't get it. And I just thought, I'm not going to get this cold. And then, he just got over it, and I was just celebrating that I didn't have it, and then I got it. Hi, Simone. Glad to have you here. So never be too smug about your ability to avoid viruses. They still get you. So thanks. Thank you. Yes, I'm feeling much better. It's just so annoying. I did actually, the last week I've changed my whole website. Gone onto a whole brand new platform. I've got my course now hosted on that platform, and the course that goes for my coaching clients. It's the same course, but one of them is minus the coaching element, and that's the maximum fat loss course. And it's live now. It's ready to go. I'll just put a link to it in the chat. So it's just what was my old website address. It's now transferred over. I can't talk and type at the same time. I'm just not that multi-talented. There we go. So it's just emma-voyseyhealth.com. Let's put a www in front of that. And that will take you to the sales page, which I'm so proud of because I sat there with no voice last week with nothing else to do. Couldn't speak to any of my clients, had to cancel my appointments, and I built this sales funnel and put it onto the new platform. So now it's there. Three people today, I think, have already bought the course, which is brilliant. So we're up and running. Who have we got? Lynn, hello from the Costa Blanca. Hi, bet it's hot down there now. Marlene, hello from Sweden. Hi, Marlene. Julia Fisher, hi. Hi, Julia. Lil, hi there from Arkansas in the US. Amazing. So talk to me. Who would like to know what? Give me a question to answer. Don't make it too difficult. It's not an auto link. Do you mean for that web page? Does it not connect? I did test it just now and it worked fine. Let me just have a quick look. No, that's not where I want to go. Maybe it doesn't work from here because we're on YouTube. It just takes us back to the YouTube channel. If you put it in an external web browser, it should take you to my sales page. But do check it and tell me. I need some testers to tell me if it's working. People have been buying it today, so I think it's working. I'm not sure if I can even put links on here. It might be blocked by YouTube. Simone, I have a salt problem. Tell me about it. What's your salt problem? Hello from Illinois. Hi from Paradise. Paradise, what a name. Newfoundland. Amazing. Sazzle. Hi. I have lymphedema, and I can take more salt. Oh, I can't take more salt. Yeah, that's an interesting one. I'm not very familiar with lipedema. Do you have to avoid it? Who told you have to avoid salt? Is that advice from your doctor? Is that standard advice for lipedema? Interesting. I wonder if that's I'll have to check that out because I'm just not familiar with it. Emma says, Mags, I have the list of ingredients for electrolytes, but people are saying that magnesium citrate doesn't mix well with water. Have you found this? And if not, what brand do you use? Oh, God, I use it all day long. This mix is fine. I think Sally Norton says in the original recipe to put it into, make it up and leave it for half an hour. But honestly, I've just had a big glass just now. I mixed it up. I squeezed some fresh lime juice into it, and it was great. And I drank it. And I made one for my husband, and he drank his too. So, yeah, mix is fine. If anything, it's the salt that doesn't always dissolve. Now, what did I see yesterday? Magnesium glycinate in electrolytes. I think that's in the Relight formula. So you could try, if it doesn't work, you try magnesium glycinate. Simone, I'm going to have to come back to you. I'm going to find out about that because I don't want to just make something up, and I don't know much about lymphedema. I mean, I know what it is, but I don't know the connection with not being able to take salt, because salt is so essential for all of us. I would almost think that it's one of those things where you have the lymphedema because you're lacking in salt, but I don't take my word for that. I'm going to check it for you. Magnesium malate. Anatino Joy says it's malate. I don't know what's malate. Is that one the magnesium that does mix or it doesn't mix? Julia Fisher, excessive sodium, mostly from processed food. It's a whole new world if you're eating Emma's way. Yes, exactly, Julia. The salt in processed food is completely different to taking a natural mineral salt too. I was listening to James Di Nicolantonio yesterday. He was doing a podcast with Jesse Chappus, and James Nicolantonio is brilliant. And he wrote The Salt Fix, and he was debunking all sorts of myths. So you could do worse than to buy his book and read it. It's really amazing. It'll really open your eyes, because he was talking about how the sodium content in processed foods is much, much higher than the chloride content, because it's sodium chloride, isn't it? I can't remember exactly, but super interesting. In Element. Okay, it's malate. Thanks. It wasn't Element, actually. I think it was Relight. It's another one. I mean, I can't get Element, so I've never tried it. But the one electrolyte I did buy in the UK from Amazon, which was quite nice, had a fruity flavour. It was only sweetened with stevia. God, it was expensive. Little sachets, and they were nice, but they did, if you had a sweet tooth, they were quite sweet. So they weren't doing you any favors on that front, because they were still, keeping that sugar muscle alive, that sugar desire. And they were about £1 each, which I thought was enormous. And when I bought the 4 packs so I bought the salt, the magnesium, the 2 kinds of potassium, and I made up my own. It's so cheap and it's so easy. Just make your own. It's much cheaper. Yes, my new course. So I wrote my course last year, and I've been using it since last summer for my private coaching clients. It's a 12-week course. It's all about eating whole foods, the way I eat, and it's also about all the reasons why I eat the way I do, and then the learning behind, why sunlight is important, why we should follow more of a ketogenic way of eating, why we want to tap into our fat burning energy system instead of being sugar burners, why sugar and seed oils cause inflammation. There's so much information there. I've been writing these articles and recording videos, and it's all on the course, and I've been doing that since last year and improving it all the time, and I will continue to improve it. So when I learn something new, or I find something that feels like another puzzle piece that I want to put in, and I've tried it and I know it works and my clients are using it, then I'll add it in. And once you have access to that course, which is on a special offer, early bird price at the moment, you will have access to it forever. There won't be a limit on when you can it won't close down and deny you access after 12 weeks just because you finished the course. You will always have access, and you will also always have access to the community, which I've set up within this whole platform where I'm centralizing everything. It's all centralized on this one new platform I'm using. And it takes you week by week through a 12-week course. It drip feeds, so you can't get overwhelmed. You can just only open up a week at a time, but you can do it at your own pace. You can just open up each week when you're ready. You watch the videos, you read all the articles, you do the homework, and then when you've got that down and you're happy with it, you move on to the next week, and so on and so on. And it's a weight loss course because it flipping works. It works to lose weight, but it also re-educates you to eat in a really sustainable, healthy way. But not if you're a vegan, because it's not really set up for vegans. There's no information in there for people who are vegan, because I personally believe that you can't be a vegan without supplementing heavily, because there's so many aspects missing from a vegan diet. You can do it as a vegetarian if you eat eggs and dairy. That really helps. But sadly, I don't know enough about it either. It's not because because I don't believe it's an optimum way of living to be vegan. Shoot me down in flames. That's my opinion. It's the same with my one-to-one coaching course. I can't coach you if you're a vegan, unfortunately. I want you to eat meat and fish and be super healthy on it. Simone, I do healthy keto for I've done 6 months now, so it's not about salt and processed foods. Okay, so you've got the lymphedema since in the last few months. I need to find out about it and then come back to you. Maybe I'll find out about it and do a post about it or something. 16 milligrams a day magnesium malate in element. Okay. What else have we got here? Please tell me more about your upcoming course. I hope you just listened. There's the sales page. I'm really proud of it because I've never created a sales page like that before, and it tells you everything. Just flip over to the sales page and read it. And thank you for the hearts, because it tells you much better than I can tell you here and now. You can make element for cheaper at home. Yes, definitely. Tony says, hi. Lil Cooper, 2 questions. How long did you say to be out in the sunlight first thing in the morning? Minimum 10 minutes. 10 minutes, definitely 10 minutes if it's winter time, and the early sunlight, if you can get out into that early morning red sunrise light, it's fabulous. With no glasses. No glasses allowed. Take your glasses off, get out in the sunshine. It doesn't even matter if it's cloudy, just get your eyes outside, and your eyes are the front portion of your brain. They're the outside bit of the brain, and that will tell your body that you're awake, and it will, over the course of a few weeks, it will start to regulate your circadian rhythm. So you definitely need that sunlight to tell your brain you're awake. I've just today recorded a video all about sunlight and the effect it has on our body and why we shouldn't be scared of it, and why demonizing it, which has been done to death by whoever started that ugly rumor, it's just not true. We need the sun. We rely on it, and our skin and our gut and our circadian rhythm and our mitochondria, the powerhouses in our cells, all depend on it. And I think it's one of the reasons why there's so much sickness, because we just don't get outside. And I keep doing that because there's the outside for me. I could do that as well. Except I wouldn't climb out that window, but I might jump off that balcony. I'm vegetarian for 31 years and your plan's working well for me. Brilliant. Vegetarian is fine because you can eat cheese and eggs and dairy. And I'm really glad it's working for you. But it's the vegans. I feel sorry for vegans because I just feel that they just can't you've got to be so knowledgeable about the supplementation. It tends to be young people become vegan because for ethical reasons. They think they're saving the planet and it's better for the environment and it's better for the animals. Actually, it's not. It's not better for the animals because what seems to be the kind of agenda on this is that we want to be getting rid of all the agriculture, switching over to vertical farms. Everything will be indoors. So yes, we'll be able to grow vegetables. We're going to grow meat products from Petri dishes. I just don't think any of that is going to help the planet at all. And if I can't remember the name of the book, I'll share it in my newsletter this week. I've got an excellent book which is all on that subject about how agriculture and farming's been demonized, and this idea that cow farts are going to destroying the environment is just such a nonsense. And all the figures have been massaged and manipulated to make it seem a good idea to be plant-based, and really it isn't. And you know how many animals are killed in the line of vegan farming? You know, farming for growing crops. Every time a field is combined, animals die because of that. They get combined. Their little homes where they've made them all over the field get destroyed. Hundreds of them, it's hundreds of animals per acre, because hundreds of small animals make their homes in the fields and then they get mown down. We actually lost a cat in France when the guy next door ploughed his field. I think he got the wrong side of this massive, massive plough this guy was using. We never saw a cat again. It was really sad, for sure, but it seemed very fishy. It's still lipedema month, so it'd be great if you're able to make people more aware about it. I will. Simone, I've got it written down here. I'm going to look into it. The doctor's advised to cut back on sodium. Sorry, I didn't explain it well. You'll be fine if you're eating non-processed keto, Simone. Yeah, the sodium information that's out there, don't get it from the doctor, because he probably learned that 40 years ago, 20 years ago. I heard this week that it takes on average 17 years for a new idea to permeate through from inception or getting out there. So, we've learned that salt isn't as bad for us as we were led to believe. It takes 17 years for that idea to permeate through to mainstream medical culture, belief, teachings. 17 years. I mean, we'll all be old by then. We'd all be old and diseased if we waited for that information to get through. Is your course suited for people with Hashimoto's? Absolutely, of course, yes. That was from Jackie. Robin, hi Emma, love your walk and talks. Great, I did a lovely one today, and it was so hot and sunny. It was beautiful. Brilliant way to inspire us all to get out and move. Yeah, definitely. I love it. And of course, Mikey loves it too, because he gets to have these walks that take ages, because I'm trying, in order to make my editing quicker, I try and say what I want to say without any mistakes. And then I mess up, and then I have to redo, and then I have to redo. And then I keep deleting until I get one that says, yeah, that's right. It's because I've got bullet points and I've got all the things I want to talk about and a sort of sketchy outline, so I don't go wandering off at a tangent and being like my dad tells stories, where he starts a story and then he goes off down that channel and then he goes off down that channel. So in order not to do that, I have a sort of outline and then I fill it in. And sometimes I get my words mixed up, so I have to retake. So I'm out there for ages. Thanks. Julie was worried I don't get enough salt because I eat less salt, because of otherwise my legs retain. We need to look into this, don't we, Simone? I need to know all about this. Maeve, great plant-based con. Yes, that's it. The Great Plant. Well done. That is the book, The Great Plant-Based Con. She's brilliant, and it's so interesting. I've been reading it for months because it's really in depth, and you really got to read it and then digest the information. But it's just a great book. Recommend everyone reads it. Nikki, Gray, you've made it. Hi. My cat's called Gray. He is Gray. You probably aren't Gray. Hi, Nikki. Still getting cramps. Up your sodium. That's and your magnesium. Take your electrolytes, and then you won't get the cramps. I get cramps if I forget a couple of days and I'm busy and I forget. I keep the electrolytes jar right by the sink. Somebody asked me this week, could I do a video about making it? Literally, I could demonstrate. You get your jar, you put your salt in, you measure everything. Obviously, you do it on the scales. I've got some scales which are very accurate. Salt, I can't think of the exact amounts at the moment because I multiplied up by 100 because Sally Norton's recipe is just for a couple of litres, 3 litres, I think. So I multiply it up. So I've got a jar full of this stuff: salt, magnesium, and I use magnesium citrate. You can use magnesium malate, magnesium glycinate, 2 kinds of potassium citrate and bicarbonate. That's it. Those 4 ingredients, mix them up. There we go. There's me mixing up with a spoon. Give it a good shake. That's it. Easy, and it's so cheap. And the packets of stuff I bought on Amazon last summer, I'm only halfway through, and we've been using it ever since. You know, I take it, Simon takes it, my kids are here, they take it. Up the salt, and then so you'd be surprised. And listen to James Di Nicolantonio's on when he talks about salt. Or get his book, because he explains so well why we think we're hydrated and we're actually not. And then we do some sport and we become really dehydrated. So it's so important. Vicky Gifford says, do you think it's important to eat liver regularly? I'm trying to learn to like it. I hate liver. I can eat liver if it's just chicken livers and I've made them into chicken liver pate. That's okay. But I fell out of, no, I never fell in love with it. It was force-fed to me when I was a child at primary school. They say it's very important because it's very rich in nutrients, but you have to keep it in small quantities. So only, no more than once a week. But what I found you can do, this is how I get liver in, either take liver capsules, which I do have a pot of those, which I remember to take a couple of times a week, or make it fried up. Oh, it smells horrible. Fry up some liver. Beef liver is obviously the most nutritious because it's the most nutritious meat. And lightly fry it and then blend it. I mean, I'm not going to suggest you drink it. Pour it into an ice cube tray. Put it in the freezer. Every time I make something like I don't know, might make a soup or a bolognese or something like that, I just chuck a couple of cubes in. And I don't do that more than once a week. So if I'm making broth, for example, or bone broth, I'll chuck a few cubes in there. So then you don't taste it. It actually it enriches the flavour of things without tasting the liver taste. Sarah, your knowledge is valuable and so needed. Thank you. I'm always thinking, God, someone's going to ask me something like the lipedema, and I don't know the answer. I'm just going to have to fess up. Because when I do these videos, I research them. I research for ages. I pull up so much information. I pull things out of books. I read stuff on the internet, put it all together. It's not just, I don't just have it all off the top of my head. I have to research it. It's not that the doctor says so. Lil, I love your walking talks. Where do you live? It's beautiful wherever you are. I'm in Andorra, which is a little country, a principality, I have you know, and it's a dual principality between France and Spain, and we're in the Pyrenees, which is a mountain range, and it's not that high. It's not as high as the Alps, so we don't get as much snow and cold as the Alps, although sometimes it snows a lot. Summers are lovely. There's no mosquitoes. I love that. So we've had like 30 degrees today, almost no mosquitoes, not like Spain where you get bitten to pieces. It's very beautiful, and it's a small country with very low taxes. We have, I think, about 100,000 people live here permanently and 10 million visitors a year because it's really nice. So we have this massive mountain biking sport infrastructure here. So in the summer, the mountains are used for mountain biking and hiking, and they do big running races here. They did last week the 100 or 100K race that went overnight. There's always events going on. So there's always something. They have classic car rallies and all kinds of stuff all through the year, but particularly in the summer. And then the winter's the ski season. So wintertime, you can ski obviously when the snow's here. So December through till end of April, it's ski season. So we have all these visitors, but it never seems crowded. And we have brilliant shopping, and it's only 10% tax, which is amazing. So a good place to live. No, hardly any agriculture, so no spraying. Lovely rivers, it's beautiful. And I like to share it with you on my walks because it's so lovely here. Somebody said to me, can you do a walk with some sea views? And I just thought, yeah, well, when I go to the sea, not here, we don't have any sea here. I might be able to find you a lake. It's a dual principality between Macron, the French president, is the prince for Andorra, who's French, and on the Spanish side, there's a little town, smallish town, just the other side of the border in Spain. The first town that you get to is called La Seu d'Urgell, and that's the bishop of Seu d'Urgell is the other prince. So we're a dual principality. The recipe, says Nikki, I followed, you shared, I do once a day. Should I up that? Is this for is this for the electrolytes? Do it more than once a day, if that's what you're talking about, because I just put half a teaspoon in a glass of water, but I'm drinking my water all through the day, between meals. What are your thoughts on creatine supplementation? I do take creatine because it's apparently a very good, lots of bang for your buck supplement. It's very cheap, and it's supposed to improve muscle synthesis, isn't it? Billy the cat's now trying to get in on the video. Next thing he'll be drinking my water. And I think you have to be careful with it to start with, because it can cause bloating in some people. It doesn't cause me any problem. I just put it in my coffee at lunchtime. I'm not sure whether it's helping or not. I just have about 5 grams a day. I think it's fairly benign. I don't think it's one of those ones that's going to do you any harm. I've stopped taking collagen as a supplement because I'm not sure about that one. It's said that collagen can have deuterium in it, which is the cat's now wobbling the computer about, which is something that can make your joints and your muscles ache. So I just thought, when I heard that, I don't really want to be adding deuterium into my diet. Also, you're not sure about the source. I don't know what happens to them. I mean, my cows mine's made from grass-fed cows, but I don't know what they've done with those grass-fed cows. They're not organic. I don't know what they're living on. I think they're in Argentina. So I've stopped taking that for the time being. What else have we got here? Jackie says, love your walks outside. Some people, we have lots and lots of comments on the channel, as you've probably seen, and sometimes I don't get around to answering them for days and days. And sometimes I think, somebody said the other day, your walking and talking means the sound quality is terrible. This was really uncomfortable to watch. And I just thought, well, first of all, you don't have to watch. No one's forcing you. And then I listened to the video she was talking about, and the sound quality was perfect. I don't know what she was going on. And somebody else accused me of breathing too heavily. I just was walking up a hill and talking to the camera and trying to keep an eye on the dog. And I just thought, really? You're really upset about my heavy breathing? Sorry, it's upsetting you. Just have to shut the sunset out. That's better. I've got my blue light blocking glasses on, but I really should have the orange ones on because it's getting towards nighttime now. A lot of protein seems to be constipating for me anyway. Any tips on how to mitigate these effects? Thank you. Yes, I'm going to make a new video next week. I'll probably make it at the weekend. I've got it roughly sort of drafted out, and I'm going to say, talking about vitamin C, ascorbic acid. Very simple, very cheap. Dr. Sarah Myhill, who's one of my all-time heroes, and she's on the board at my college in London. That's how I discovered her about 3 years ago. She's amazing. She's wise and lovely, and she's British. She practices in Wales. She's a proper doctor, but she's gone over to the naturopathic side, and her book's here somewhere. Oh, I think I've talked about it before. Hold on. I mean, she's got lots of books, but here's a couple because they're just great. So I love it. So she's written this book, which is amazing to read. So the person that talked about Hashimoto's, highly recommend that. I do that. Get it in the middle. Dr. Sarah Myhill. Right. And this one, which is dog-eared because I refer to it so often. Such a good book. Now, in this book, Ecological Medicine, she talks about her vitamin C protocol. And vitamin C therapy has been around for more than 100 years. It's not a new thing. It's been around since the 1920s, I think. And on my own health journey, which was a good couple of years before I got to the way I eat now, I was trying to follow Dr. William Davis's advice. I thought I'd cleaned all the weeds out of the garden. I had terrible bloating, terrible problems. I knew I had body-wide SIBO and SIFO and Candida, and I knew it had migrated out of my gut because I also knew I had a leaky gut. And I came across, and I'd been trying, and I was using a breath tester, which you can buy from Food Marble in Ireland. And I knew I still had really high levels of the gases that are given off by this upper fermenting gut. Anyway, I'll tell you all about it in this video, but Dr. Sarah's therapy to get rid of an upper fermenting gut, and Dr. William Davis, who's an expert on the gut too, believes that more than 60% of Americans, which is millions of people, are walking around with this upper fermenting gut caused by bacteria that have ascended from your colon, from the large intestine, where they should remain. They shouldn't. That's where your microbiome is. I'm always sort of indicating my stomach, but your microbiome is in the last 5 feet of your 30-foot digestive tract. And what happens when you eat a Western diet high in sugar, take antibiotics, all the other stuff, all the other things that we do, all the toxins we're exposed to, these get gut bacteria. First of all, they get out of balance. You get more bad guys than good guys. And then they start to ascend. Then they start to climb up your colon, from out of your colon, they get into the small intestine. And then once they get there and they start colonizing, when they get really big and strong, they can get up as far as your stomach. Now that, of course, interferes with your digestion, because the stomach's supposed to be this acid bath that the food drops into. It's so acidic that our stomachs are supposed to be as acidic as killer whale stomachs or wolves. You know, we're right up there with the apex predators as far as the acidity goes in our stomach acid, except our stomachs aren't acid like that anymore because we eat too much carbohydrate and sugar. And so we don't eat enough protein, and then everything, you know, the acidity changes, and then we get acid reflux, which is probably just bacteria getting, because they can get right up into your esophagus, these flipping bacteria that should have stayed down in your colon, and now they're up here. And if you've got a leaky gut, now they've escaped out of your gut altogether, and they're in your bloodstream, and now they're colonizing everywhere. And now you've got achy joints, you've got brain fog, you've got all kinds of problems which are caused by these bacteria being in the wrong place instead of being down at the bottom. And everything else is supposed to be sterile. All the gut bacteria activity happens in the large intestine. And this little thing we have called the appendix, which surgeons love to pull out and tell you it's of no consequence. You don't need it. I never believed that. I never believed that anything that we have was surplus to requirements. But apparently, you know, doctors will tell you don't need that. We'll just whip that out. And the job of the appendix is to inoculate your large intestine, your colon, with friendly bacteria. That's its job. It sits at the junction of that colon and I don't know why I'm indicating like this. That junction, where your small intestine goes into the large intestine, that junction, that's where the appendix sits, and that's its job. Now, I didn't know that until Sarah Myhill told me that. Anyway, these bloody bacteria get right up where they shouldn't be. And what kills them is vitamin C. So you can take vitamin C, and you can't do yourself any harm with vitamin C because your body will simply excrete what it doesn't need. So you take vitamin C, you mix it in warm water, take a gram or two as a powder, mix it in warm water, not boiling hot water, drink it down, and see if you have a bowel movement within 15 minutes. If you don't, have another gram, wait again 15 minutes. Keep doing that every 15 minutes, tiny amounts. I mean, you can weigh it or you can just look at it, little tiny amount, until you get to what's called bowel tolerance. And that means that you have a big old poo. So you go to the loo. So don't be far from the loo when you're doing this. Don't do it and then go out. That is the point where you've flushed out all this bacteria I'll do that. So you flushed it all out. It's all got it, and it's flushed out your body. Do a couple of those, and you will clean out and clean away that upper fermenting gut. And that will make your digestion better. So suddenly, that meat that you couldn't digest because you didn't feel it, you know, people say, I can't digest that much meat. My clients say it feels like a brick in my stomach. One woman said she couldn't digest the meat, felt like she couldn't eat anything else for 3 days after she'd eaten the required amount of protein for the day. It's because we're not acidic enough in the stomach. And then you just take it as a maintenance dose. But in answer to your question, who was that? Protein. Susan, in answer to your question, vitamin C will get you regular. And Dr. Sarah Myhill takes it she uses it as a daily thing. She takes some vitamin C every morning. First thing, don't take it with your iodine. So take the vitamin C. If you're going to take it first thing on an empty stomach, that's the best time to take it. Have the iodine later because they cancel each other out. And I will explain more about this in the video, but have the iodine later in the day. But that will get things moving. Just be near a loo, as I said. Won't do you any harm. Just get everything moving, and it'll kill any bacteria that are in the wrong place. So win-win-win. Lamb's liver with onion and bacon is delicious. I think my husband likes it. Julia Fisher's given me a smiley face. Electrolyte, so beautiful there. Told my mum we need to visit Andorra. Yeah, it's lovely. Never knew. It's just a bit of a hassle to get here because we don't have an airport. You have to get to Barcelona or Toulouse and then catch a coach or catch a bus. But there are loads of buses. Right, I've been on the ketogenic diet for 6 weeks. Only lost 5 pounds. I don't really have much more to lose. Maybe another 7 pounds. But I just can't understand where I'm going wrong. I am in ketosis. What's your timing like? Are you front loading your day with the food and then stopping eating as your insulin depletes so that you go to bed empty so that you burn fat all night long? That could be a reason. Are you eating too much fat? Some ketogenic diets add an awful lot of fat. You don't need to go low fat, but you've got fat on your body. You want to use that up first. Lynn says, I tried the egg and cottage cheese wraps. Love them. Yeah, they're really nice, aren't they? Somebody said they taste like cold omelettes. I thought, no, they don't. They're really nice with goat's cheese too. Never mind those jealous haters. We love you. Thank you, Sarah. I've never heard a sound quality issue. When you walk, you always sound good. Thank you. I think right back at the beginning on some of the early videos, it was a bit crap, but then I got myself a decent microphone. Humans have evolved with indoor living, etc. We can no longer withstand the harmful effects of the sun, says Julia. Unfortunately, no suntan is healthy. I don't agree with that in any shape or form, Julia. I'm sorry. Watch my video that I'm going to bring out. If I get time, I will have it out by tomorrow. Because I'm afraid I'm just totally have to disagree with you. We'll have to agree to disagree on that one. It's so vital to get sunlight on your skin. Mag says you will always get the complainers. I've seen that comment. It's really rude. I know when people make rude comments back to them because I don't want to be that person getting into an argument with them. So I just either say nothing or delete them or just ignore them. Say something nice. But you can all say something. You can jump on my bandwagon for me. Egg and cottage cheese, gross. Tasted like hot cottage cheese. Do you think so? Oh, no, don't think that at all. Try it with goat's cheese. Lots of people really love it. Creatine's essential, especially for women. Research is out, great for bone density, cognitive function, and of course muscle density. Collagen does benefit the skin 100%. Okay. Nadia says, do colonics help? I've never done a colonic, but I have done, what's it called when you do the one you can do at home? And I have done enemas, but in the past, but I believe that you don't want to do them too often because you don't want to be flushing out your bacteria too often. It's quite essential that it's like a lovely garden down there. But the vitamin C will help if you're stuck, if things aren't moving. Nikki, I'm the one that commented on the accidental saltwater cleanse. Okay, so Nikki, so after you told me that, I got this cold and I just thought, I'm just going to flush it out. I'm going to do vitamin C and I'll do the salt as well. Because I'll just flush all the infection out. This was last Saturday morning. So I woke up really early, did lots of salt, vitamin C, had a big drink of it, and then nothing happened. So that's the other thing with vitamin C. The higher the level of infectious load in your body, the more of it you've got to take to get something to happen. So the first time I did a vitamin C cleanse, I had to take 50 grams, not milligrams. Anyway, yeah, nothing happened. And then we had this tennis court booked. I wasn't planning to be ill last Saturday. It was just the beginning of the cold. So we went and played tennis and I was by this time doubled up in pain. So I don't know if it was the combination of the salt and the vitamin C. It was hard to play tennis, I tell you. And there was a loo right there, but nothing happened. Nothing happened all day. Didn't need the loo at all. didn't go till the next day. So I don't know what that was all about. So I wasn't very keen on the salt cleanse after that. I think it must have been the salt and the vitamin C must have been too much, my poor stomach. Lisa says, I just made the flatbread with the ricotta cheese and eggs today and it was fantastic. I loved it. Great. I think it's excellent. And then you can, use it for other stuff. Like I said, use it like lasagna sheets. Like my mum came up with that idea. I thought that was brilliant. Simone makes some nice pate out of liver. Yeah, I like liver pate. I can eat it like that. I haven't tried it with beef liver or lamb's liver. Maybe I'll try that. Julia Fisher, humans don't evolve that quickly. That's the thing, isn't it? We haven't been here that long. We are very, very similar to how we were when we lived in caves and we spent all of our time outside hunting and so on. Do you know what? It's not the sun that's killing our skin. It's the seed oils which crumple up the skin's proteins and make them into funny shapes so that they burn. And it's the sugars, and those things cause the problem with the skin, and we blame the sun. It's what we're eating and what we're exposed to. It's pollution and the horrible diet that's causing the problem with the sun. It's not the sun. It's been demonized wrongly, and it's essential. It's essential for life. You'll understand when you've listened to my video. It powers your mitochondria. That's how important it is. Nothing works properly unless you get sunlight in your eyes and on your skin. You don't have to burn. I mean, I'm not talking about roasting yourself. I'm not talking about going out there and getting like a lobster. Just regular exposure. 20 minutes. Alexa, hello, Emma. Starting out on your meaty breakfast full for the day. Great. Also, I'm iodine and salt water before my tea. All good so far. So once you've watched vitamin C video, you might have to switch things around a bit and have the iodine a bit later because you can't have the iodine and the vitamin C together. And you're all going to want to do it because it's brilliant. And I think somebody said, I just saw a comment about electrolytes giving them terrible acid reflux. Maybe it's an acid. Maybe it's a too alkaline gut that's giving you the acid reflux, or prep the little valve at the beginning of the stomach that keeps everything in where it's supposed to go. When you've got a bubbling, fermenting mess in there because you've got bacteria in there that shouldn't be there, and the food's been in there for hours now, instead of being digested efficiently and passing on through quickly as it's supposed to, then you get things like acid reflux. So maybe it's all that's all connected. I think that the acid reflux can be solved by getting rid of the bacteria. Out and Julia says she's taking high dose vitamin C, glutathione, and alpha lipoic acid once a week in an IV infusion. Do you mean you inject it into yourself? Wow, cool. That sounds expensive. I've just discovered your wonderful YouTube videos, says Corinne Allen. They resonate so much. In my 60s, trying hard to lose weight, looking and feeling terrible. Thank you, you're giving me real hope. Have a look at my fat loss course. It's perfect. It's just everything in one course, week by week by week, until you know what to do, and it just works. And all my clients that do my course lose weight and feel great. And they all start out a bit sort of grumpy about it. A couple of weeks in, they're not feeling that great. They're missing their fixes, and they've got their habits. They're broken, and then I speak to them on week 3, and they're just like, yeah, it's going really well now. And it's just like, come on. I'm so proud of you. Lil says, any particular vitamin C that you mix to the warm water? Yeah, in powder, ascorbic acid, the cheap kind. You can use, you can buy vitamin C as, what's that orangey one called, that is made of something like rose hips. Very sour again. Can't think of the name of it. I've got a bag of that. It goes really hard. You have to get a hammer out and chisel it. Ascorbic acid, which is made from tapioca. Some people are intolerant of it, but most people aren't. Is the cheapest way to take it. It's just a white powder. And yeah, powder form. Don't take Barocca. They've all got added ingredients. Don't take tablets. They've all got fillers. I had pizza last night using the cottage cheese flatbread. My partner was amazed. Excellent. I also thought you could make a quiche with it. With the cottage cheese rather than the goat's cheese, so it's a bit more bland. But I know it's only a base, but you can make a crustless quiche, can't you? But really, it's just an omelette. But if you had that as the base, it would probably be tastier. I'm going to do more cooking videos because that one's really gone down well, and I love cooking, so I really should do some cooking videos too. I'm an advanced aesthetics practitioner. I specialise in skin rejuvenation. 3 patients are treated for scar regeneration from skin cancer. Yes, it's interesting, isn't it? They are what I talk about that in this video, that there's actually a lot of science backing up that it's not, the skin cancers are not caused by the sun. They're caused by, the melanomas are caused by other reasons. But we blame the sun. When we were kids, a long time ago now, we went out to play early and came in late. We had no sunscreen back then, and we never burnt. Interesting, isn't it? I know sun cream wasn't even around until I was a teenager. And I have got, my skin isn't great. I know I've got damaged skin, but I know it's because my diet was fairly crap. Very, very high in sugar. I thought I was healthy, but I had loads of sugar for my whole life until my 40s. And I lived in a hot country, and we used to roast ourselves. We used to cover ourselves in horrible chemical sun creams and then roast ourselves. And it's that as well. It's the chemical sun creams that have caused the problems. Okay, we can agree to disagree. Thank you. Try the pizza next. TDIV myself, cool. Alexa, more cooking and or meal plan examples. Thank you. Just caught my attention with that idea. Cool, I will do. I'll have to think of some interesting recipes to do. I do like doing the cookery videos as well. That's kind of how I started out doing cookery videos. But so yes, please give me thumbs up. I've got no more questions now. So unless anybody else has got anything else to ask me or talk about, then we'll fairly soon be wrapping this one up. No, nobody else. There's 68 people all sitting there going, oh, shall I ask a question? Go on, ask your question. We've only been 47 minutes. Question. Great. Come on, Susan. Give me the question. Don't make it a really hard one so I have to go, oh, God, I don't know the answer to that. Thank you for your time. Thank you, Sarah. I was looking forward to this. Great. Do we think it's better on a Wednesday evening than a Sunday? I sort of did it on Sunday thinking more people would be at home. And I know on a Wednesday, if people in America will just be all at work, and they won't, or Australia, they're going to be just up, aren't they? But and going to work. So maybe just have to say thank you for advice. It says, what do you think about working out before breakfast on an empty stomach? Do you think our cortisol levels gets higher? Well, it's a good question, isn't it, Velvet Rope? I don't know. I used to always work out fasted. Now mornings for me are just all about get up. I do my yoga, but it's only 20 minutes and it's just more stretchy than anything else. And then I have breakfast, and I try and have my breakfast within an hour of waking up when my insulin's at its highest. And then I go out with the dog and walk straight after breakfast, because then I'm walking, I'm using up the energy that's coming from that food. I'm not going to store it because I'm going for a walk straight away. So I don't know about, I think it's, I used to do personal training, but I'm so off the pace with the current thinking on that. You'll have to, I don't know, look at somebody like Thomas DeLauer. He does lots of stuff on training, doesn't he? If you can just wade through all the things he's selling and all the adverts. Well, somebody did say there's lots of adverts on my channel now, so sorry about that. I don't put them there. They put them, YouTube puts them there, and then they pay me for advertising, so that's good. Loving the beefy scramble for breakfast. Yes, great. I love it too. I eat that about 4 times a week. Not sure I've lost weight, but clothes are much more comfy. And it's all about that, isn't it? It's about how you feel. And it doesn't even matter what your weight is. It's about how you feel and how you look in the mirror and how you feel, where you feel comfortable. Because sometimes when people start eating properly with lots of protein, they put weight on initially because your body's grabbing that protein and using it for all that repair that it's been missing out on when you weren't eating enough protein, which is what most of us do. We tend to undereat. We eat little salads with little bits of protein, or we follow vegan diets. Or I was a vegan for 6 months. I couldn't stand it. 6 months was all I could take. I missed the chewiness of meat. And it gave me such terrible bloating. So I have celiac. I'm assuming this info works for me. Oh gosh, yes, absolutely. It's a brilliant way to eat if you're a celiac, because there's no grains, none. No grains, no pretend grains, no keto substitutes. You're just eating meat, fish, eggs, cheese, dairy if you can tolerate it, and some vegetables, some low oxalate vegetables. Nothing starchy. So celiac's perfect. I have a friend who's a celiac, and I used to be fascinated by what she would eat, but it seemed to be mostly, I think she was vegetarian as well. It was mostly things like French fries. Didn't think it was ever so healthy. Xylitol for sugar. Yeah, xylitol is one of the better alternatives, but it still kids your brain that something sweet is incoming. Best to just break up with the sweet tooth, because just phase it out. And it can also be very, very bloaty for some people, but it is, I don't know, it's supposed to be made from birch, isn't it? But I look at it and it's bleached white, and I just think, how do we get from birch to this bleached white substance? You have to ask these kind of questions. You'd probably be better off with just a bit of honey if you needed something sweet, something natural. It's my lunch break, so it works for me, says Sarah. Your lunch break at 8 o'clock at night. I wonder where you are. Andrea Maunders, just found you. You're fabulous. Respect. Thanks, Andrea. I love those comments. Give me more love hearts. I think that's good for the algorithm. Wednesday suits me. Night, everyone. Happy living. Thanks, Nikki. Night, night. I'm celiac too. It's fabulous for a tricky tummy, I can confirm. Which veggies do you recommend? I have a food list, but I don't think it's on the free PDFs at the moment. And if you can't get the free PDFs, it's because I'm changing platforms. I will have that sorted in a few days and put new links. The non-starchy ones, asparagus, avocado, that's actually a fruit, tomato, cucumber, also fruits. Bit of lettuce is okay, rocket, watercress, courgette. Not the starchy ones. I sometimes eat squash or pumpkin, but very rarely. The brassicas are good. So cauliflower, cabbage, obviously I eat it all the time. Cabbage I eat every day because I eat sauerkraut that I make every day. But the brassicas are good. I'll get my food guide back onto the free PDFs as soon as I can. Hi from Minnesota. What do you think about nitric oxide supplements? I'm afraid I don't know anything about them, Julie. Nitric oxide is made by the body particularly when we're exercising. You have to keep your mouth closed, don't you? I don't know about nitric oxide supplements. I don't take very many supplements. I tend to go eat meat and eat healthy food, and most of my supplementation is coming from my food. What's your thoughts? Again, that's probably one to ask Thomas DeLauer. What's your thoughts on eating cherries? Oh, they're very high in sugar, aren't they? But it is the cherry season. Fruit in season, a little bit of fruit in season is probably okay, because you're just eating it in season. Fruit is in season in order to fatten us up for the winter time. So you can eat it in season, and that's what fruit does. It fattens you up. It's sugar. It doesn't matter how healthy it is. It doesn't matter that it's fruit. It's still sugar. It's stored as fat, and therefore, if you are going to eat fruit, eat it at the end of a meal when it will be less of a blood sugar spike. Don't put it on an empty stomach. I mean, cherries are just delicious at the moment, aren't they? But I did eat an apricot the other day. I bought 5 apricots, and I remembered to eat one at the end of a meal, and it was lovely. But I don't normally eat very much fruit. I did. I had to give it up last year. It was hard giving it up because it's delicious. Loving your channel, says Tina the Turtle Warrior. Are you a turtle warrior? I just discovered it, plus Mikey's Adventures. Sorry for repeating. It's just, do you use any mineral SPF skin protection? I'm late 50s trying to get body mass, blood, BM, body mass, bowel movements down, so you're in most perfect body mass, I guess we're talking. I don't actually, because I used to burn like a lobster. And in response to what Julie was saying earlier, that's probably because of my terrible diet that I had with lots of sugar and starch in it, and also using lots of chemical sun creams and spending way, way too long out in the sun. But now I never burn. So haven't used. I did buy some mineral sun cream last year, but I haven't used it so far this year. Susan says, I've been following Dr. William Davis for the last 2.5 years, still can't lose weight, lots of stomach problems, so I can relate to your story. Yeah, I think, so he says you have to clean, he talks about weeding your garden before re-inoculating with the good bacteria from the yogurts. I feel that I never got my garden weeded out before I started on the yogurts. And I was still eating some sugars, and I never got to the bottom of the bloating until I did that vitamin C cleanse several times. And then I followed Candy Fraser's Primal Bod plan early. Then I did an elimination diet. Then I followed Candy's plan, and then I modified it to go on with the rest of my life, and that fixed everything. God, it just fixed everything. It was so amazing. You can do it with eating a carnivore diet because there's no sugars in it, but you've got to be really, really strict and just go completely carnivore. So that was kind of what the elimination diet was, but I also was doing vitamin C cleanses. Do we have to give up chocolate? I have 2 squares of very dark chocolate, 75%, with a cup of tea after lunch in the afternoon. Yeah, well, you don't have to give it up. You don't have to give up anything. Just go have it in moderation. But it depends what your end goal is. Depends where you're going. I don't think 2 squares of chocolate. It's very difficult to overeat dark chocolate, isn't it? I don't think 2 squares is going to do anything weight-wise. And it's high in oxalate, so you have to decide. I don't eat much else which has oxalates in it, so I have that cup of tea and my 2 squares of chocolate. Sarah says, Maeve gives me a green heart. Sarah says, it's midday here in the Midwest of the USA. Oh, that's why you're on your lunch break. Perfect. Thank you so much for your advice. Love your channel. I'm going to go and get a look at your new course after this. Yes, go and look at the new course. Be impressed by my sales page. I'm so impressed it all works. That's the bit I'm most impressed by. And I'll tell you, I woke up this morning 3:30 worrying about it. I hadn't quite got it all linked correctly because I had to set up a new web page. At 4:00, I just got up and started working on it. By the time my husband got up, I'd been working for 2.5 hours. But I fixed it. I got it all working. Xylitol's great for teeth. Yes, that's right. It's good for your oral health, apparently. So that's what Mark Bahen, the dentist, the natural dentist, talks about it a lot, doesn't he? Hi, Emma, you're a fountain of knowledge. Thank you. Found you recently missed the beginning of your live. How do you find your information? Can you tell us a bit more about your background? Many thanks. I'll have a look at my new website, which you can link to from, because it's not at emma-voysey.com anymore. emma-voysey.com will take you to the new sales page for the fat loss course. There's a link on there to my web page, which has got a bit more of my background on there, my story, how I got to where I am, what I went through. And also on the sales page for the maximum fat, max fat. I wanted it to, and the reason looks like a Campbell soup tin is the logo, because it does what it says on the tin. Yes. Did you ever supplement, says Melissa Bloom, estrogen and progesterone like so many women our age? And if so, were you able to reverse that? I never did. I didn't know anything about menopause when I went into menopause in my early 40s, except that my mum had taken HRT in the 80s and 90s, and I didn't want to do that because I thought it was just that it was made of pregnant mare's urine, which I thought was abominable, because I learned how they produce that stuff, how they just keep those mares pregnant, and they keep them thirsty so that their urine was stronger. It was disgusting practice. Thankfully now they make bioidentical hormones from plants for HRT, so that's no longer an issue. But I stopped my hot flashes by stopping sugar, and they never came back again. And I just went through it, and it was fine, and I never needed. And people, and now I know more about it. You know, people take HRT because they said it improves their skin and their energy and their sleep. If you don't take HRT, and yes, of course you can come off it, because what you want is for your adrenals to take over the job from your progesterone and estrogen and testosterone. So those are the 3 main sex hormones. They give up when we hit menopause. They say, that's it, we're done here. Over to you, adrenals. And those adrenals sit on top of your kidneys like 2 little hats if you go into menopause, and those adrenal glands are adrenaline, right? That's the link. They're linked with adrenaline and stress. If they're stressed to hell through years of stress and coffee and all the other things that they have to deal with, they're not much good at replacing anything. So they're not very good at doing the job for your sex hormones. So they just don't. But if you take HRT, they give up altogether. They go, well, we're done here too. Nothing to see here. We don't need to do anything. So they give up as well. So if you can go the natural route, go the natural route. And if you've been on HRT, phase yourself out of it. See how you go. Maybe if you follow a healthy way of eating and follow all the things that I say to do, all the ways that you can eat well and not stress your body, maybe the adrenals will start to recover. I've noticed a really big difference in the last 2 months from not drinking coffee first, straight after I've had my yoga in the morning, and moving it to lunchtime. I'm sleeping better. I've lost more body fat because I still had some to lose. These things don't happen overnight. I still had fat on my legs I wanted to lose. It's reduced just in 2 months. Nothing changing anything except I've stopped the morning coffee. So I've lowered my cortisol. BM as in blood sugars. Right. Okay. Not bowel movements. Thank you so much. Thank you. Fast first, then start rebuilding good gut bacteria. Yep. But the fasting will only deplete and quieten them down. They won't go away. They just come back again as soon as you start eating again. So then you've got to, the thing with the vitamin C cleanses, it flushes them out. I think that's the point of it. But the fasting is amazing too. I'm allergic to avocado. Oh God, says Robin. How depressing. And I think it makes me very nauseous. What can I substitute? There's nothing like an avocado, really, is there? Are you talking about with the avocado mayonnaise? There's another way to make mayonnaise, which I'll make for you, and it's with melted butter. And you can blend melted butter and egg and make mayonnaise. It's lovely. Don't make it when the butter's hot. Melt it and cool it. Excuse me. I'm thinking I'm going to have to stop talking in a moment. Still got the tickly throat. I don't know. I don't know what you can have instead of avocado. Have you tried if the avocado oil works for you? Excuse me. What's the vitamin C cleanse? You'll have to re-watch the beginning of this live once it goes over onto it, because I can't go through it all again, because it took me about 5 minutes to explain that. If when this is finished, it takes a couple of hours, and they buffer or do whatever they do behind the scenes at YouTube, those clever people, and then you can watch it again, and you'll find out all about it. But next week I'm going to do a video about it, so you'll find out more about it then. Good quality chocolate, high cocoa percentage. Yeah, exactly. Organic. I always buy organic. Talk please about eating different than other people in the house. Does your hubby eat like you do? He didn't to begin with. He used to still have his starches. He said wasn't a meal to him without some potato or some rice. So he used to still have those things, but I just stopped eating the starches. And gradually over the months, it's been like a year and a half now, I've been eating like this. He's come over to eating exactly like I do. So, but we didn't have any kids at home, so it was easier. For clients who have children, it's more of a challenge. But again, I've got clients who, from the way they're eating, the kids are watching what they're eating, or what she's eating. So she's now thinking about their diets. Her husband realized that his ADHD or these issues he has would be helped by a low a ketogenic diet. So in every case is individual, isn't it? Sometimes you've just got to prepare some food separately for other people. If you're the main person that prepares the food, you can do it. You just have to be. I think planning is key to it. I think you've just got to be really well planned, so you've always got the next couple of meals planned out. I plan when I'm going to fast every week, and then I plan around that. So I just know it doesn't matter if the fridge is empty on a Monday, because I'm not eating anyway. And I just know that I buy food quite frequently, so I just buy a little bit each time. But we've got local shops, so right, I'm going to have to go in a minute because we've gone over the hour, and I have a video to edit for you guys for tomorrow. Yes, so my husband does eat like I do now, and he's now fasting with me. So he does long fast with me. I have to keep reminding him to have his electrolytes and water because he tends to be a under-drink water, I think, but he thinks he drinks enough. A brilliant doctor who's given me to control pre-diabetes with diet control. So thank you for helping me achieve this. Fantastic. It's so great when you can find those doctors. And there's some great doctors out there that do understand that a low starch diet or a ketogenic diet is fantastic for things like diabetes. You can reverse it. You don't have to just accept that it's there. It's only there until you stop eating the sugars. How often should you do long fast when you're in your 50s? I just do 24 hours to 36. Sometimes I go, it depends on my timetable, but once a week. Some people do more than that. Some people might fast for 3 days a week. For me, that's too much. Just whatever feels comfortable for you. And don't just launch into it straight away. Build up to it. Thank you for answering everyone's questions, says DP. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Corinne says, which type of milk's best in tea and coffee? I use cream because it's higher in fat, or butter. Today I had to throw the milk away. I had been keeping to make the next jar of kefir. It went sour, and all the cream went sour. So they're all, because it's been so hot, threw it all away. And then Simon said, cup of tea. And I said, lovely, for my one cup of tea in the afternoon. And, no, we got no milk. So we just blended butter into it. It was lovely. So it was a bit frothy on top, but it still works. But whole milk, always go for whole milk, and always go for real milk. Don't go for almond milk or oat milk. Oat milk's terrible stuff. It's like drinking liquidized pasta. And do you get hay fever? Any suggestions? Luckily, I don't, because there's lots of pollen here. I don't know much about hay fever. I'm sorry. I'll have to look into that for you, because I don't know. I know the only thing I know you can do with hay fever, and it's a longer term strategy, is you get yourself some local honey. Has to be local to where you live. So go to a farm shop. Start taking a teaspoon of honey in the wintertime every day. And that will acclimatize your body to the pollen that's in that honey that's from your locality. And for some people, that can really help with hay fever. But you've got to do it for 6 months before you get to the hay fever season. So it's a plan for next year. Read up on it. There's information out there on it. Right, don't ask me any more questions, please, because I'm trying to finish. Are you strictly carnivore? No, I'm not. Yes, I eat veggies, very little fruit, but sometimes I do eat avocados, tomatoes, and cucumbers, so those are fruits. But no, I'm not strictly carnivore. I found it's too boring. I like to have some vegetables, not loads, way less than I used to eat. That's from Jersey Mike. Anne Gripston says, hello from Norway. Can you talk about keto flu, how to avoid it, how long it lasts? I'm trying to go keto, got so sick I had to quit. Oh, Anne, I'm so sorry. Just go really slowly. Take things out gradually. It's also when your body's trying to switch into fat burning mode and it's stuck in sugar burning mode because you've got insulin resistance and the cells are locked down and they're not allowing your body to access your fats. So therefore you are in this kind of no man's land where you've run out of sugar because you've stopped eating sugar and you can't access the fat stores, and then you can get really sick. So go slowly, take things out gradually, wean yourself off. That's how my program works. You don't just launch into it on day one with fasting and cutting everything out. You just take a couple of weeks to go into it slowly. Eat 3 meals a day, but just keep them within a kind of 8 to 6 window, but don't go too fast. But sometimes, the first time I gave up sugar, I was sick for a week. Sometimes it just happens. You get over it. Great, Julie says her kids eat almost the same as her. That's fantastic. Mike says sea salt under the tongue in the mornings. I just put half a teaspoon of salt in a glass and I mix it up and I drink it down. That's the first thing I do in the morning. Yeah, so salt under the tongue, you can do that too. But I drink it and rehydrate with the salt and the water. It tastes horrible, but hey, it's just a glass of water. Julia reversed her diabetes. Fantastic, isn't it? You just stop eating those sugary things and it goes away. Thank you, Emma. Thank you. Thanks for being here. Thank you for adding to the conversation. Ketovore. Yep. Says Maeve. Yes, put the oat milk in the bin. Definitely. It's got seed oil in it as well. I mean, I used to think it was healthy. We all did, didn't we? It's the marketing. It's very clever. Again, what is the vitamin C cleanse? I explained about it. So this is to Nataraj. I explained all about it at the beginning of this chat. This chat will be available to watch afterwards, and I'm going to do a video about it next week, so you will find out all about it. I can't explain it again now because I'm ending the call. Oh, that's the neighbour's dog barking. Corinne, thank you very much, Emma. I really appreciate you doing videos. Thank you. Oh dear, the dog's really upset. Nettle tea for allergies as well. Harvest your local nettles. Oh, good idea. Don't mind salt water. Thank you so much, Lynn, Gwen. Right. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to say good night with a barky dog in the background. You probably can't even hear me anymore. I will see you next week. Thanks for watching. I'll let you know on the chat, on the comments when I'm going to do my next one. Thank you. Good night, everybody. Bye-bye for now. God, that wasn't